going to be a little more playful. We're going to use a couple of props, so if you need to go grab some stuff. If you're practicing on a hard floor, want something soft, an extra mat, something like that, grab that. We're going to be on our knees for just a bit. I'm using a chair. We won't use it a ton, but just kind of a chance to be playful. And the chair can give us a lot of support to try some poses that maybe we wouldn't practice on our own. And a wall is also a great prop. If you can be near one, it just gives us that extra sense of support. And maybe a little strap. I'm using my yoga mat strap. You could use a belt, scarf, folded up towel, all kinds of options. So if you want to go grab those things or you don't already have them, go ahead and do so. And I just invite you to kind of have a playful spirit as we move into this practice. If you want to press pause on the video and maybe try some stuff that we're opening ourselves to, feel free to do so. If there's anything you want to leave out, you always have that option. It's a great time to just practice at home, see how we're feeling, check in. So let's just start by coming into a seated position. And as we tune into the breath and start to find stillness in the body, just kind of notice how you are feeling. See if there's areas that are tight or tense. See if there's anything that you're kind of just clinging to right now that you can let go of. Give yourself this 20 minutes or so to find stillness, to find that breath-body connection. Your hands can go wherever you feel the most comfortable. And as you check in, just start to notice the muscles involved in sitting up tall. If you are not sitting up tall, go ahead and sit up tall. And notice how we have to engage that core. Our low back has to be active. To pull those shoulders back and down and lift up through the crown of our head. So find that connection. Also, depending on the height of chair you're in and the length of your legs, if you need to put something under your legs to feel more supportive, a block, a footstool, something like that, feel free to do so. We want to allow our legs to just rest comfortably. So we'll take one more big inhale. See how much air we can bring into the body. Pause for just a second at the top. And then a long, deep exhale. Breathe out a little more air than you think that you can. Let that go. And then we'll come into just a general side-to-side stretch. I'm going to set my strap across my lap. Reach my right arm tall. And then the left. And then this time as I reach the right arm tall, I'll let the left hand just kind of fall. It might rest on the chair. And then the same on the opposite side. One more on each side. If you're stuck sitting at a desk or doing work, this is a great little stretch that you can practice as well. So coming into a gentle twist. So we like that nice long spine. Just sitting up tall, turning to look over one shoulder. And then back to center, looking the opposite side. Back to center again. We'll roll the shoulders forward a few times. And then in reverse. Melt the shoulders back and down the spine. We're going to interlace the fingers, press the palms away. Let the belly button draw toward the low back. The chin melt to the chest. And then we'll lift up from here. So if you're sitting on something where your fingers can interlace, feel free to do so. If not, you could just grab the side or the back of your chair, opening through the heart center. So think about a seated cow. And then back to a neutral spine. We're going to grab our strap. We're going to lift one leg. I'm going to lift my right to start. Bring the strap around the base of the foot and just extend forward. So if as you find length and space in that leg, you notice yourself collapsing, go ahead and bend the knee a little bit more. We want to be nice and long through our spine. Just kind of test the water. See how we are feeling the muscles of the leg. And then point and flex the toes a few times. We'll release that. Let it go. Sit up tall. Same thing with the opposite leg. Reaching forward. Sitting up tall. And then start to point and flex. We'll let that go. Shake both legs out of it. Adding a little bit of movement in here, so if you're not near the front of your seat, you may want to find that. We're gonna lift one knee, gently hug onto it, and then we'll just rotate that knee around, a little bit of space through the hip. Reverse those circles. Let that come back down. Lifting the opposite leg, moving gently, reversing. And then we'll bring that knee in, a little hug, we'll let it go. From here, we're gonna make our way into a standing chair. So engage those lower body muscles to lift. We're gonna hover just above our chair. Arms can reach, or we can rest them. We're gonna extend into mountain, big full breath. Exhale to chair. One more time, big full breath up. Exhale as we melt to chair. Hang out here for a few breaths. And then one more big breath up. As we exhale, we'll release the arms. Set our chair off to the side. I'm gonna bring mine towards what I consider the top of my mat to use here in a moment. Keeping my other props close by. If you've got water, anything like that. We'll warm through the hips a little bit. There's a full moon today. It's really pretty. You could be watching this at any time, but if you're watching this close to May 6th, which is the actual date, be sure to enjoy that moon. So we're gonna spread the toes wide, big full breath up. Exhale as we come into a little moonflower flow. It's just a chance to warm through hips, legs. Our hips don't get a lot of natural rotation in our everyday lives, so it's a good chance to add that in. Where popping is fine, pain is not, so just checking, make sure you notice the difference. We'll meet at the bottom. Big breath there. Take a moment to sink and release. And we'll inhale tall, big full breath. Alternate that side to side stretch again. So reaching through one arm and then the other. Maybe noticing a little deeper hip stretch here or in the outer leg, the IT band, just because we were seated before when we practiced this. So we'll do one more on each side. Make our way back to a neutral position. And I'm going to turn to face what I consider the front edge of my mat. Have your little extra prop close by if you want to play with that. And have your chair kind of close by. So I'm going to scoop my arms up, big full breath, coming into mountain. On an exhale, swan diving to forward fold. So as much bend in the knees as you need, hinging at the hips, but feels good. Let the head hang heavy. And then I'm going to step my right leg back. This is where I'm going to grab my prop and drop my knee, just coming into a little lower lunge. Checking that my front knee is above or behind my ankle, shifting it out a little bit if I need to. And we could stay here in this lower version. We could use our chair for support, bring our hands to our knee, or we could maybe just reach that right arm up, nice and tall. So if you feel tightness or tension, think about sending the breath there. And then maybe adding a gentle twist here, letting the hands come to the heart. We'll twist towards whichever knee you have in front. So I'm going to twist to my left. And then make my way back to center. Hands come near that front leg. And stepping back, I'm going to step back into downward facing dog. You have the option here of finding down dog, of finding child's pose, of moving into all fours. If you're practicing down dog, maybe a lot of bend in the knees here, pedaling the calves. And you start to settle into the pose. Allow the hips to lift. Kind of just acknowledge what's going on in the shoulders, the hands. If you feel discomfort in your wrist in weight-bearing poses, a great way to modify is to just roll an extra layer of your mat under the base of your hands and let your fingers come to the floor. That takes some of the tension out of those wrists. Check that the elbows are soft. The shoulders are active and engaged here. We'll take one more breath here, and then we are going to step that right leg through. So same thing as we did before. The weight will come to the left knee. Play with that front leg if you need to shift it around a little bit. Making our way to a lower lunge. Checking in, see how we're feeling. Option to stay low, to use our chair, to rest both hands on that front leg, or maybe to let the left arm reach tall. Find that long spine here. Feel the body expand with the inhale. Melt and release with our exhale. Then we can choose to add a twist if we'd like. Let the hands fold to the heart. Turn ourselves to the right or whichever direction of our knee is in front. Then we'll release that back down. Stepping back, finding our downward facing dog, all fours, or child's pose. So we're gonna get playful here. We might move into a shorter stance of a downward facing dog. And we might try to just get really close to our chair, knowing we might choose to find support there. So what we're gonna do is think about getting more weight in our feet than we typically do. And we're gonna lift one leg, come into a three-legged dog. And then we're gonna walk our hands toward our foot. So we're playing here. We're trying something out and letting this lift us into our warrior three. So another option we have here is if we would choose to be closer to that chair, maybe even letting our downward facing dog rest the hands on the chair, lift the leg, and make our way to warrior three. So if you have a chair with rungs, you can kind of walk your hands up the rungs, up the chair. And just getting playful, hang out in the warrior three as long as you would like. Chair might get in the way a little bit. And then from that, we are going to melt our way back into a standing lunge. So back foot drops. I had my right leg lifted, my right leg is now back. Just know that if you do the opposite, you want to switch it out and then sweep both arms up. Big breath here. Take a moment to find stillness. And then again, we'll get a little bit playful here. So we'll make our way into our pyramid pose. And if you want to have your strap close by, you might choose to use it here. So we've got both feet facing that short edge. Our hips are also aligned there. And we hinge forward coming into our pyramid. Chair's a great prop. We can rest on that front leg. Nice stretch for the back of the legs. Knees are soft. Melt to the point where you feel best. So if you're getting a nice deep stretch and you feel like you're maybe 2/3 of the way down, go ahead and hang out there. Use that breath. Enjoy the stretch. We can stay in pyramid, or we can get playful here by coming into our balanced half moon. So creating a tripod with our front hands, our front leg. Could use your chair again. We're gonna let our right leg lift, and then we roll that hip open. So you'll feel that movement through the foot, trying to lift your toes up. We have the option here of bringing that arm tall, or we can come into our sugar cane here, which is bending that top knee, reaching for the foot. Whether or not you get there, that's fine. This is one where if you want to press pause, play with it for a bit, you certainly can. Using that wall for the extra stability is nice. You can also use the strap here. So as you find your half moon, you can reach for that ankle. Just an extra variation that we've got here. And when you're ready, we'll exhale, let that go, make our way to forward fold, and hang out here. And then we'll step one leg back and the other. Come back to our downward facing dog. Option to rest in child's pose, all fours. We'll try to move through that series on the opposite side. So as we start to walk ourselves in, we're shortening our stance with our down dog, trying to get a little more weight in our feet. If you want to use your chair here or be close to your chair, or even bring your down dog up to your chair, it's a great option. We're going to lift our left leg, find that three-legged dog, and then start to walk our hands either toward our standing leg, towards our chair. Make our way to that warrior three position. Coming into a little balanced posture here. You can take your arms wherever you feel the most comfortable. So remember, we're on a journey. We don't feel super stable, that's totally fine. And then when you're ready, we'll exhale, we'll lower that foot down. I'm totally off my mat. Coming into a lunge. Arms tall. Maybe a good day to just grab a smile, embrace wherever you are. And then we'll lower this, coming back into pyramid. So as we find length through both legs, we keep the knees soft, we hinge forward, and we find the stretch, the space, whatever we need today. Using our prop, using our support. And then we can choose to stay here. We can play with that balanced half moon again. So bringing the weight into the right foot, the hands, letting that left leg rotate open. Option to play with what's called sugar cane, just a bind, reaching for that back leg. If you want to feel a little more supported with your chair and reach, you can. And if you want to try it with the strap, again, same thing. Just allow it to draw that ankle a little closer. And then we'll exhale, melt our way down, coming into a forward fold and adding maybe a little side to side movement. With an inhale, we'll make our way back to a mountain. Exhale as the hands fold into the heart. We'll roll the shoulders back and down a couple times. We'll make our way to our balance pose here. We are going to practice dancer. Some people like to use that strap. Depending on what you're wearing, you may just want to grab your pant leg. If you want to use your chair or your wall, anytime we can find support in balance poses, it's a great way to practice. So, picking whichever foot you want to start on, I'm going to ground into my left, lift up nice and tall, and as my right knee bends, start to feel that stretch through the hip flexor, probably through the quadricep. You can reach for the inside of your right foot, thumb facing the sky, and just start to press the hand and the foot away from the body. We can come here. If you prefer to have the strap, you just use it instead of bringing the hand there. And you can let your opposite arm help you find stability. You want to lift up and out of the pose, find the breath, give yourself a gazing point. And then we'll lower this down, shake it out, kind of a humbling pose some days. And switching sides, so if you want to use your strap, bring it around the left ankle, lifting tall. If you don't want the strap, just bring the hand to the inside, thumb up. And then as we exhale, we'll let that go. Shake it out. Make our way back to standing. If you want to get rid of your strap, we should be done with it. For now, we're going to sweep up, big full mountain, swan dive to forward fold. You can stay facing a short edge of your mat if you want. I am going to make my way to all fours and then just sweep the feet around. I'm going to sit on my little extra layer, test the waters, and we'll play with a little variation here from our Gamakasana, or our cow face. So letting the left knee come in front of the belly button, right knee come over the top. We invite the heels to reach toward the hips, just knowing wherever they are is great. So embrace that, maybe noticing as we find stillness and find the breath, those hips want to open a little bit more. Sit up tall. If you're sitting on a prop and want to pull it out, it's a nice time to do so. And what we're going to do is add a gentle twist here. So as we sit up tall, whatever knee is on top, you're going to twist that direction. You can rest the hand there, bring it to the thigh, bring it to the outside of the feet. And then we'll come back to center. So we're gonna get playful here with a little transition. I never do this in actual class, so it's something you can try if you want. You don't have to do this. My right knee is on top, so I'm gonna turn to my left. So you're gonna bring your hands to your back left, stand up, walk your feet around, walk your hands around, and then come back to a seated position. So again, if you want to press pause, you want to try it, what you're going to do is move the opposite direction of your knee that's on top. So if I was going to do it from here, I now have my left knee on top. So I'd walk myself around to the right, and then magically when you come back down, the opposite knee is lifted. So if you want to come off of that support, you can, or if you're good staying there, feel free to. Again, just checking in. And when you're ready, we'll gently twist the opposite direction, adding in a little space through the spine. And then make our way back to center. We'll let the legs reach a little bit. So let's say we want to practice legs up the wall. If you got a wall, great. If not, chair is a great way to find that. So as we melt back, we can let the feet find support there. If your chair is not super soft, you could add your blanket, pillow, extra layer, melting down into the shoulders and the low back. Try to allow the body to be very heavy here. If you can bring the palms to the sky, add that little rotation in the shoulders. And as you lie here and find a little bit of stillness, take as long as you want. We normally do 5 minutes of Shavasana, but I'm not going to make you watch me lie here for 5 minutes. You can always press pause. So just finding stillness here, and perhaps using this time to set an intention for your day. Perhaps you are in need of some self-care, so giving yourself permission to find that today, to take a few moments for yourself. Maybe your body needs a little more movement today. Maybe you want to drink more water. Think about choosing healthy foods. And knowing you've started in a great place here just by adding some movement and some intentional breathing. So when you are ready, you could draw the knees into the chest. That's a pretty easy way to come out of legs up the wall. And then maybe rock side to side for a moment. Gradually make your way to one side, pressing up, moving back to a seated position. If you sit cross-legged, try to bring the opposite leg in front. Oftentimes we choose the same leg over and over. So this just brings a little more balance into our lives. We'll let the left hand fall, right arm reach, big full breath. And then switch sides, right hand fall, left hand reach. We'll release that and fold the hands into the heart. One more big roll of the shoulders. melt them back and down, and closing our practice with namaste. Thank you for taking the time to practice. Have a great day.